Hi everybody, Puffin here. I made a video yesterday about reincarnation in which I make the claim that people who believe in heaven or say they believe in heaven often or all the time usually seem to be acting like they believe in reincarnation, like they expect to come back and enjoy the stuff they set aside for their family. People expect to be reincarnated within their bloodlines according to the way people act in our society, even if they believe in heaven. And so I wanted to follow up with that because I started thinking afterwards, well, what would it be like if people did believe in heaven the way they say they believe in heaven? And the first thought is that people would be doing good. It's a very basic idea about heaven. And I want to give some credit to it for this, that people who don't really think about it, or people who casually think about it, or people who really deeply think about it, about heaven, might all be motivated to live a good life. That's, the general idea behind it, that people think, well, hey, if I'm trying to go to heaven, I want to live a good life. And to that extent, it's a great thing. It's a good thing that's producing a lot of good in the world, the idea that you'll go to heaven after you die. But I just wanted to follow up on it, kind of follow through with the idea, if people thought they were going to heaven for eternity after they die, what would that be like? And something occurred to me when I was thinking this that I really never thought of before. There's an idea that people have that they'll be judged when they die. And the idea is that there will be like a god or some figure besides themselves to judge them at the moment of death. And kind of the typical conception seems to be to decide that they get to go to heaven or something. So I just wanted to open it up and say, well, let's say everybody goes to heaven, or almost everybody goes to heaven. But what would it be like for anyone? And it makes me think about how if you have one life and then an eternity to mull over that life, that you would be the harshest critic and judge of what you yourself had decided to do in your one life. Even if you got more than one, if you have some time in heaven to review them, you would be a harsh critic or judge of your own life, just as while you're alive. If you make a mistake, or if you do something you regret, you forget to tell somebody you love them, or neglect to tell somebody how much you love them, you can regret and think about that for weeks and months and years and the rest of your life. You can dwell on mistakes and dwell on things you wish had gone a different way forever while you're alive. So what if you actually had forever to look back on the events of one life? That would be a type of judgment greater than, a court case when you die type of conception that people have. And it made me think that, people want to come back. That's a general idea. I think it's a much more helpful notion of reincarnation to consider that you could come back at anyone's family or as any creature on the planet, any plant or animal, and therefore it would be good to make the conditions for all living creatures the best. I think that's what's useful about reincarnation. But also, a useful idea about heaven is some type of rest from all of this. And I don't see that it has to be either or, which is why I think I'll title this Heaven Can Reincarnation Wait? Because in the meantime, between incarnations, it seems like you're somewhere. There's some scientific study of children usually who could clearly recall past lives that, they could verify, hey, this person must have had this past life to be able to recall this. That there was about a 52, 53-year average time span between incarnations, that someone would die, be gone for about 50 years, and then come back. And again, that's just a study of a certain group of people, and an average, who knows what the different extremities of that could be. Or, if they catch all your lives, maybe it's harder to remember your last life, and that's an average of 50 years. But it's easier to remember your next to last life. So stuff like that. That basically, it can be both. There can be heaven and reincarnation, and heaven might be what you do while you wait for your next reincarnation. But the idea of an eternal life, looking back on one life, seems to be pretty severe to me, and the psychological implications of that would be pretty severe. If that's really how you think about it, if you're acting like you're going to go to heaven for eternity, you would do the very best you could in this life to have the most to reflect on positively and the least to regret. This is kind of the same for all ideas of heaven, that if it's a good place for doing good, then it encourages you to do good. So I don't want to knock the idea of heaven. I'm just saying that if we really think about it the way we say we think about it, we'll get even better stuff out of it. If we really consider what we really think about and question it, do we really think we're going to come back in our bloodline? Do we really think we could, or can we consider that maybe we could come back as anyone? That would be a conversation that would lead to helping everybody better, in my opinion. And I think this is what the spiritual discussion is. So I appreciate you joining in it with me on my YouTube channel. And again, I just wanted to fill this in after making the video on reincarnation last night, and just follow up on the idea, well, what would it be like if people really did believe in heaven? And I think there's a lot more to be said about that, but I'm glad I got this out here now, and thanks for watching, and leave comments or ideas, links to things in the comments. Thanks, and have a great day.